So what is up, good sir? Welcome to the Back to the Futon podcast, where everything goes wrong, and then you just kind of have to figure it out later on.
Yeah, and I feel like it took long enough because I've seen so many comments from on either page, and it's like, when are you guys gonna collab? And it's like right now.
Exactly. And I'm sure at some point we'll do some sort of like retail collab, because I mean we both have tons of stories about GameStop. I mean, you worked there almost 3 times as long as me, and I thought I worked there for a long time.
Yeah, it just reminds me of how I want to die all the time. It's when people were like, "Oh, you were there how long?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I want to die."
You're like, "Can you not remind me that it was that long?"
I wasted so much time. I could have been being a man, like lifting stuff, hanging out
well,
with No.
What was worse, do you think? GameStop or Walmart?
Okay, well, with Walmart, I was not really dealing with customers, so that right there, it's like, great. That's a good thing. That's the best thing. But the stress involved in the Walmart portion was so terrible because the chain of command did not exist. It was like, oh, this manager that's a department manager is giving you crap, even though the store manager said you need to be doing this, and the department manager is like, I don't want to do that. And it's like, but the store manager said, and then they're like threatening to get you fired, and then everybody's threatening to get you fired, and no one knows what the previous person has said, so you're trying to follow a policy from assistant manager, and then that's not the right policy to be following because the store manager says it different, and everybody's just yelling at each other, and they're all old and terrible, and it's just terrible.
But was this... my God, yeah, like, that sounds way worse.
Yeah, it's as from a stress standpoint, GameStop, I was never stressed. It was just kind of mind-numbing, whereas, Walmart was just so stressful because there was nothing positive. It was all negative. At least GameStop, your favorite game could be coming out, and you can talk with people every now and then that have like-minded conversations. You're like, oh, you like Bloodborne? I love Bloodborne. Let's talk about Bloodborne. And that's great. But, Walmart is, if my phone was ringing, which my phone was ringing nonstop every day, 24 hours a day, when it rang, it was automatically negative 100% of the time. Like, it was like, oh, I'm the assistant manager in, this city, and, I need your boss's number so I can get everybody fired because one of your associates sneezed. I'm like, what the like, that's literally how it was every day. I had a lady call me once on Christmas Eve at 9 at night. She was an assistant manager at Walmart. And she was like a 70-year-old lady. She called me and her voice was like shaking and she was so violently mad. And I was just ice skating with my friends and she's just like yelling at me the entire time I'm ice skating about nothing, by the way. It was nothing. She's like, your associates need to be throwing away trash. And I'm like, we're not allowed to maintenance. We're literally not allowed to do that. It's against our contract with Walmart. And she's like, I don't give a damn. She's like, this is not how it's going to work in my store. And I'm like, man. Lord. I'm like, you're an assistant manager at 70. Like, you have at Walmart. You're not. She was like calling me like she was the president of the company, yelling at me. I'm like, I'm higher than you. What are you doing?
I feel like these people, I mean, did these people even have any authority over you? I mean, they don't work for the same company. What do they think they're going to achieve by yelling at you?
Yeah, they had no authority. It was dumb as hell. And she actually tried to get me fired once. She called my corporate office, and they called me and was like, what's going on? And I'm like, she's just insane. And they were like, oh, okay. And that was the end of the conversation. Literally. They were like, okay, well, who cares? It was
at least there was no real consequence from these like crazy people that were just kind of freaking out for no reason at all.
Yeah, that's the one thing you will notice if you ever work at Walmart in any location. The majority of locations, every single person that is not an entry-level associate has a power trip, and I don't know why.
Yes, it's like, 100% true. It's so true.
You listen to me. I've been working at Walmart for 15 years, and I'm now the department manager. I will kill you. And it's like, what the hell?
It's like, that's not an accomplishment.
You make $8 an hour. Years.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a terrible place.
Yeah, that's definitely the place that I spent the least amount of time working at, but it felt like I worked there way longer than GameStop. I mean, I was there for like 8 months, but it felt like 8 years.
Yeah, that's how it was. I was only there for 2 years, and it made GameStop pale in comparison. Probably because
Yes.
GameStop was fun at a point. Like when I started at GameStop in '07, and it was actually pretty kick-ass until like 2013ish. And the only thing I really had to deal with was like my store manager for a small period of time, which his name was just Egg. I call him Egg on my channel, but he was terrible.
Okay, I was like, who was Egg again? Because I remember you kept talking about Egg.
Yeah, but he made the job actually like just kind of interesting because of all the crazy crap he did. But other than that, it was pretty cool. And then of course when 13 and 14 hit and GameStop started struggling to grow. I mean, they were doing okay, but they were struggling to grow anymore, which is, every corporate company has to grow more and grow more and grow more. So they were struggling to grow, so that's when they started trying to change everything and introduce all these weird metrics like, COL. Basically, the birth of COL is when that all came in, and that's when it started just getting just insane. It was like, it basically didn't matter how good you did. You could have been the #1 store in the country, and the next day struggled a little bit, and your DM would be all over your ass about it. It's insane.
Yeah. I definitely noticed that as well. I noticed the circle of life when I was becoming a big thing. They were pressuring you to like chase customers down as soon as they walked in the door, and you're like, you take all these flyers. And they're like, can you just let me look at video games? Like, this is a video game place, right? Are you trying to sell me a car? What is happening? Like, it just made the place unpleasant. And like you said, every company is just, I have to grow. And that year over year, constantly having to beat your profits, it's just unsustainable. I mean, you can't keep doing that.
Yeah, eventually you're going to stop growing. Eventually you're going to hit that cap, man.
Exactly. I mean, there's a cap for everything. I mean, this is something that it's not a needed thing. It's not like we're selling water. Yeah. We're not selling like food. We're selling video games. I mean, this is like it's a luxury item, if you will.
Yeah, and I mean, they would have spills. I mean, we would have a conference call, and they were like, "This is what you have to say when a customer walks in," and it's like, "Thank you for coming to GameStop, where we buy and sell used games. Did you know that we have tablets, and we also take tablets on trade, and also there's 3 killer titles coming out at the end of this year that we can let you reserve for only $5 down, and here is the pre-order bonuses." And I'm like, there is no way in hell anybody on earth is gonna like hear you for the 30th second in that spiel and be like, you know what, I'd rather not be here right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I mean, I'll just sit on my ass and turn on Steam and click buy. Because for one, it's cheaper, and 2, this dude's not teabagging me the entire time. I'm trying to just look at the wall. It's terrible. Yeah.
I mean, it's by far the worst place to buy video games, both by price and just experience overall.
Yeah, and that has never made sense to me. Even when times were great, like back in the day, I'm like, why the hell is this pre-owned game $54.99? I know it trades in for $20, whatever, and I know, their defense is, well, we don't sell it right when we trade it, take it on trade-in. I understand that, but you could be competing with Amazon and make the used title, $42.99, and then, still have the card, get 10% off, and then you're actually offering a really good deal that you can't get anywhere else. But no, there's like, let's just make it the same price as the retail copy. I wonder why our pre-owned sales are struggling this year. Oh yeah, it's because it's still more expensive to get a pre-owned game than it is to get a digital game.
And even Best Buy, like at the time when they had the GCU going on, I mean, there was literally zero reason to ever shop there. I mean, I had a GCU when I was working at GameStop when they introduced the program, because I was like, this is insane. I mean, it's 20%. I mean, it's cheaper to buy a new game than it is to buy used. So whenever I saw people buying used games at GameStop, I was like, what are you doing? It's so much cheaper right across the street.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like keeping up with the times. It's like that company is the only company that has not kept up with the times. Not only did they try to spend $20 million on a service like Steam and then completely let it die without ever doing anything with it.
What was that again?
They had a service, basically a digital download service that they tried to start that was kind of like Steam back in the day, and it never worked and was terrible, and then they just ditched it. And it's the same thing with,
I think I remember that.
Yeah, basically everything they do, they'll throw $20 million at, and then a new CEO will come in and be like, scrap all that, and I'm like, what? And like every time something would happen, it's like we have a lot of plans. And I'm like, okay, and we go to conference, and everybody's like, oh God, what are they going to do? Are we finally going to lower prices? And it's like, oh no, we're going to turn the stores into a neckbeard haven where you can play D&D. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's going to be great. Because like those three dudes playing D&D for 12 hours is going to be great, especially when they don't buy anything and they never bathe. So like, it'd be terrible.
Yeah, and so you knew about that remodel even when you were working there? Like, how long ago did they start talking about that sort of thing?
They've been talking about that remodel since like 2014. They're like, they want to turn the stores into social gatherings. And at the time, it seemed cool, but you don't really think about people coming in, the type of people that are going to play a D&D there. I mean, I'm sorry. I've been members of like comic book shops in the past, and you would go there. I used to play HeroClix at one, and it was a great comic book shop, but 90% of the guys that went there during tournament nights did not bathe. So
what is up with that?
So you had to, I don't know, man. I don't really, I guess they have like an irrational fear of water. Like, showering's great. I like to shower. I don't understand why.
Just all of rabies or something?
they're just burned. They're all like that one witch that gets burned with water.
Like in the Wizard of Oz?
Yeah, they're all
Wicked Witch of the West.
They're all wicked witches, and they're just going to melt. And their safe haven is now GameStop, and they're going to go in there and smell up the place. I had guys that came in my store that they would literally walk to the back, and then walk out the door 30 seconds, and their stench would be in the store for an hour, and I'd have to freaking spray the entire store.
Yes.
That's the kind of guys that are going to be playing D&D in there.
It's true.
All day.
And those are the type of guys that are going to sit in there, and they're going to be the opposite of an air freshener.
Yeah.
And they're going to be sitting in the corner, and people are going to walk in and go, no!
Yeah.
And just walk right out.
And there's just going to be food and drinks everywhere, and a normal person's going to be like, I want to go buy a game, and they're going to walk in, and they're going to be like, never mind, and they're going to walk out.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the lack of staff and the insanely long line for the one person that's still there at the store while the other person's at another store trying to steal their cell phone trades, it'll be the stinky guy in the corner that kicks him out of the store.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's one thing I was thinking about when all of this was happening. They have one associate ever. Literally ever, unless it's the holiday season. There's going to be one associate, even on weekends most times. You know, they're never going to have double coverage unless they're a $2 million store. So, that being the case, how in the absolute hell is this one person going to, like, upkeep all this crap and upkeep the rest of the store? And especially during the holidays, because even, like, the last holidays that I worked there, we were busy as hell. I mean, it's the holidays. It doesn't matter if it's brick and mortar. But it was the holidays, so everybody was in there trying to get deals. And I'm pretty sure almost all holiday except for Black Friday and like the last week of Christmas, we were single staffed. So I would have a line. Yeah, dude, I would have a line of like 30 people, and I would just be standing there at the register for like 2 hours straight, and nobody in there with me, because they'd be like, hey. They said at conference that year too. They're like, we're going to give you the most hours you've ever experienced, and literally
bullshit.
2 months later, only 2 months later, I shit you not, man. I shit you not. I was standing there, and we got our hours for the week of Black Friday, and every single day suggested was single coverage besides the day before and the day after. And we had a total of like 115 hours. And it's usually 72. So we had like just a handful of people, man. Like only on Black Friday, and then we had to cut the rest of the week. It was terrible.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, for Black Friday we had double coverage all day, all night.
Yep.
Like the whole time. So hearing that, I mean, were you in like a dead location, or
it was a $2 million store? It's crazy.
How? My God, I thought my store was bad, but you keep telling these stories, and I'm like, man, mine was a walk in the park compared to yours.
Yeah,
God.
I think what did they give us? Because we had 72 hours. I think it was either 72 or 74 hours every week. And that was the minimum they would give us, which is funny because when managers were on salary, it was 83 was the bare minimum, and everybody said if you do, because the rumor was they were going to move store managers to hourly, and everybody was like, if they move store managers to hourly, I guarantee you they'll cut our hours more, because the federal minimum is a certain amount of hours, basically federal minimum. So if our hours apply to the actual payroll, they're going to cut the entire payroll of the entire store. And they did. Literally, like a month after we moved to hourly, our bare minimum hours went from 83 to 70. I think 74 or 72, and that's how it was.
As a manager, you moved to hourly?
Yeah, I was on salary for all the way from 2010 until 2000, I think 15 or 16, and then they moved all the store managers to hourly because there was a federal law that got passed that increased the salary cap for people to be eligible for overtime. So if you're making below $47,000 a year, you still had to get paid overtime.
Oh wow!
And that was passed, and then eventually it like failed in some other part of the judicial system. But they still kept the policy, so all these managers are on hourly, which is why time card became such a big issue.
Yeah,
because
I remember that.
Then they're like, they could literally fire anybody for anything and just be like, "Oh, time card fraud. He clocked in 1 minute late. Time card fraud." Yep. That's it. I mean, that's how they fired every. I mean, my district I was in had 16 managers, all which had been working at GameStop longer than 10 years, which is crazy. They called us the legacy district is what they called us, because we were the only district that had so much tenure. And literally a year after I was gone, only 3 managers that had existed there when I was there or were there. The rest had been fired for time card fraud. Every one of them. And then people were like, "Oh, that's not a thing. Like that, they didn't actually do this. These people are actually committing time card fraud." It's like, oh yeah, it's half the time they don't even present evidence. They just fire them. That's
so messed up.
That is. I mean, it's easier. It's easier to pay a couple thousand managers $14 an hour than it is to pay a couple thousand managers $19 an hour.
Yeah, even those are not that much.
Exactly.
Like, for a store manager, like $19 an hour.
Yeah.
Is that what you were making as a store manager?
I was making $16.70.
God.
And that
GameStop just screws you.
Yeah, dude, that's nothing. I was one of the highest paid managers in our district. There was one manager that was it was a female manager because my DM was super sexist. He always started females outrageously low. There was a female in my district making $12.50 as a store manager.
Oh my God!
I'm not even joking.
That's insane.
And their defense is, well, we give you 4 hours of mandatory overtime a week. And I'm like, sorry, 8 hours of overtime a paycheck doesn't make up for the fact that I'm making $12 a damn hour. Like,
what is the minimum wage there?
Minimum wage in my state's $7.25. So
do you know how much the minimum wage is here?
I have no idea.
It's $11.
Wow. Yeah. See. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was making $1 over minimum wage here.
Exactly. Yeah.
As a manager of a GameStop,
a store
as
manager,
an entire store. Yeah.
That makes like the store that like what is it nets or it grosses like over $1.5 million a year.
And yet you can't pay them more. Like
yep.
Really?
And she's making like $27,000 total a year. It's crazy. It's crazy, man.
That's just crazy.
You can't even buy a used car after taxes.
No. Yeah, right? You're just screwed.
Let alone take care of a family.
God.
And that's the thing is, every year they would cut bonuses for store managers. This was a thing we saw every year. We would get an email. It would say the same thing. GameStop, we had a great year, but we missed our profit. And ultimately, the store managers are the front lines, so they are at fault. So we've decided to take away 50% of their bonus for the year. And they would say that every year. But every year since like 2009, the CEO made more. So it was like 10 million, 12 million, 30 million, 34 million every single year. And then our pay just got cut more and more, which is every company does that. It's just GameStop they didn't hide it. They just didn't get it.
Good God.
And that's the thing. Like they don't, the one thing, if I was the CEO of business, like the first thing that I think of is the people that are directly responsible for your profit is probably the people you shouldn't be bending over all the damn time.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't make any sense. That's like literally having like soldiers on the front line, and you're just shooting them. Like you're just shooting them. Oh,
I mean that's every company though. That's like every company. Yeah. I mean they'll cut pay of, if we're talking about gaming companies, they're cutting the pay of developers, they're cutting the pay of sales staff at a lot of different places, they're cutting the pay of marketing people. I mean, these are the people that are generating the entire income of this company, and yet for some reason that top guy really needs that many millions of dollars per year. I mean, the wage gap between employees and their CEO just keeps growing exponentially.
Yeah, and that's like a very important issue. You think, okay, CEOs will always come, they'll come out of the woodworks and they'll take over a company that's struggling. And they're like, I want this company to be profitable, and I want the people to be happy at this company. That's usually what they all say, because they want shareholders to, just eat it up. But they'll go into a company and they'll make $32 million, for that year, the CEO. And if he just cut his salary to $22 million, every single person in the, at least store managers. Speaking of GameStop, for example, if he cut $10 million of his salary, all of his store managers could make an extra, $10,000 a year, which would literally change their lives.
It's huge.
It's huge.
Absolutely, yeah, it's huge. But they don't care. No, and that's the issue.
Ultimately, they're trying to bring in shareholders so they can get the hell out of there and then move to a different company. And like somebody told me, like they're not allowed to do insider trading, and I'm like, it's not counted as insider trading.
It's their job.
Yeah, they literally they'll come into the company and they'll buy back. That's one thing I've noticed. And I said this months ago. Like I said it in one of my videos. I was like, GME stock, GameStop stock is going to go up exponentially because there's going to be a buyback. It's 98% institutionally owned, which means everybody that, like the CEO and all them, own the majority of the shares, and they're waiting for people like me and you to like buy 1,000 shares here and there. And once it gets up to $10, they're going to resign from their position as, for family reasons, they're going to resign, and they're going to sell all their shares, and the company's going to go bankrupt, and they're going to have a gajillion dollars.
Yeah.
That's how it works. That's every company that fails. That's exactly what happens. So,
and that's unfortunately what we're seeing with GameStop. I mean,
the exact same thing. Yeah.
Now, as much as we both hate GameStop as a corporation, as much as we hate the fact that it acts like every other big business out there, at the same time, I feel like another competitor not existing in this area is going to be detrimental to, I don't know, video games as a whole, because what's going to fill the gap of, I want to go out and buy a used PS2 game, or I want to buy an old 360 game, or when the new consoles come out, I want to buy an old Xbox One game. I mean, I feel like they're kind of regulating the secondary markets so they don't go all crazy and the values don't go everywhere, Like, it feels like they're kind of keeping those values low. So once that's gone and it's no longer easy to get, used games anymore, what are we going to do? Because Target tried doing it. Now they don't even have a used area anymore. Best Buy tried doing it. Again, no more used area. Walmart tried doing it, but Walmart's they're incompetent with everything.
So, yeah.
So who's gonna take over?
I think we'll see a huge resurgence in mom and pop stuff. Like,
you think?
There's like 4 used game stores in my city I live in, and I live in Alabama, man. Like and there's, I mean, granted, I live in one of the biggest cities in Alabama, but there's 4 used video game stores. One of them, which is an arcade, where you can just pay a couple bucks and you can actually play all day if you want. There's no quarters.
That's sick.
And they sell used games. So, I mean, I think you'll see stores like that kind of explode, and there's probably going to be one that explodes more than each of them, and they're going to start a chain, and then 20 years from now, we're going to be in the same position we're in right now.
Do you think it's just going to happen again?
Yeah, it's going to be like TJ Gaming, and it's going to just explode, and there's going to be 4,000 stores, and then it's going to be the exact same thing.
That now I hope it dies, because I kind of want to see that happen.
Yeah, we got TJ Gaming, man. It's coming.
And then it's gonna go from like this mom and pop shop, and then it's gonna start growing. Everyone's gonna love it, and then they're gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they're gonna be just as bad as GameStop.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna fall, and then it's just gonna happen again.
Yeah, I mean, history repeats itself.
Yeah.
Maybe I will start TJ Gaming. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it, and I'm gonna open like 100 locations and just take out a crazy ass loan with like an insane interest rate, and just start it and let it like do its thing, and I'll be dead eventually anyway, so I don't even have to pay it back.
I'll be dead eventually.
I don't have to pay that loan back.
You're not that old. Acting like you're in your 80s. Well, I'll be dead. The loan, I don't have to worry about it.
Oh yeah, it feels like it. I can't see past a year from now. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I know what you mean.
But yeah,
When I turned to 22, I'm like, all right, time to retire, right? No? Oh, I feel really old though.
Yeah. Shoot, man. I never really had that feeling. I was like, I kept growing and growing and getting older, and everything was fine. And then when I hit 27, I don't know what the hell happened. When I hit 27, I like looked in the mirror and I looked older and I felt like garbage. And I was like, what's happening? And one of my friends was just like, dude, you're in your late 20s. And then now I'm like, I'm 29 now, and it's terrible.
I'm 26, and I've already hit that wall. I think I hit that last year probably. It was 24, 25 when I really hit the wall of like, fuck.
Yeah, you realize that everything's meaningless. Like, and that's the thing. Like, I'm talking strictly like aging. Like, I looked like I was 18 until I was 28, and then I looked 30. Like it was like in one day I woke up and I was like, wait, what the hell happened? Like all these
when I shave, I go back
God.
to high school.
Yeah, exactly. See, when I shave, I still look old. Like it's the thing. Like, and all these girls are like, I'm really into older guys, and I'm just like, what? And they're into me. So that they're saying right there, I love older guys, and I'm like, but I'm only
like,
20.
I'm still in my 20s. What do you mean?
My neck hurts so bad right now. Everything.
Yeah,
hurts.
talk about that real quick.
Yeah, my neck hurts. Like, and I'm always injured. Like, always. Like, you can just walk and then breathe a certain way, and then your ribs hurt for like a month. And I'm like, dude, I used to jump off a four-wheeler, like an ATV when I was 18, and hit a tree, and I'm fine. A slight concussion. It's okay. And you still play video games all night and drink freaking Mountain Dew. Damn.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Like, I want to go to bed so much earlier than I used to. I used to be up till like 3 a.m. and then wake up at like 7 or 8 the next day and be just fine. Like, I just only need 4 or 5 hours of sleep. Who gives a shit? And now I wake up and I'm just dead, even though I've gotten like almost 8 hours of sleep. And I just want to sleep longer, and I need coffee in the morning. It's just...
Yeah, that's a dude. I remember playing... Like, when games like Destiny would launch, like the first Destiny, like, you know, I was like heavy into it, and we would be like, I would have to work at 8 in the morning. You know, I'd have to go to my store, which was an hour away, and like drive there, open the store, all that good jazz, and I would literally go to sleep at like 4, and it was like no big deal. I like woke up. I remember even noticing that one time. I like woke up and I was like, wow, I feel fine, and I like went to work, and now, dude, like I never feel like rested. I just feel like garbage all the time, and I've come to terms with it that this is just how aging feels.
Do you drink caffeine?
Well, I take pre-workout before the gym every day, and it's pretty much loaded with caffeine.
Okay.
But that's the only time I drink it during the day. Other than that, I drink only water and alcohol.
Have you... I mean, I can't blame you there. I've got like a whole whiskey collection over here.
Yeah, that's how my fridge look. My fridge, on top of my fridge, is just like 1,000 empty bottles. It's pretty intense. I used to have house parties. It was great. I miss those.
How come you don't have those anymore?
Oh, because when my wife left me, like the friend dynamic just died.
Oh.
And because we were all had the same friends, and then I guess I don't know.
Oh man.
And then everybody moved away. My friend Hans moved. My friend Colton joined the Air Force. My friend Jody moved. My friend Jacob moved. They all moved. They're gone. It's just me now. So.
Yeah, I had the same sort of thing happen. I've got like 2 or 3 friends left. Because one of them joined the Air Force. A bunch of them got into like hard drugs. So I was like, I don't want to deal with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave. And the rest just, they all just moved away. Yeah. I'm just like, God.
That's what relationships do. See, I'm starting to realize things. Like that's the thing relationships do. And I'm so happy that my wife, like that's one thing. Okay, it was one thing that's like a silver lining about my wife leaving me. Like I realized that those kind of things kind of make you put your life on hold completely. Like, and 10 years will pass in the blink of an eye. And then you're like, oh, damn, I'm old, and I'm in the same position I was when I was 19. So, like, you're like, what the hell's going on? So, I mean, I wouldn't even have made YouTube videos if she didn't leave. Like, there's so many things that I do now that I wouldn't have done, You know what I'm saying? So like that's like a yeah. But yeah, no, that basically that's the issue. Is I'm just glad it happened this early on in life because it feels like I had a second chance to kind of do things, you know. So
That's crazy. That's crazy because that's kind of how my YouTube channel got started. I was incredibly depressed. I was working at Walmart at the time, and I was in a bad relationship that was on its way out, and it was just kind of like a way to kind of vent, and it was very therapeutic to just kind of talk to my non-existent audience at the time about what was going on and how stupid GameStop is and what's wrong with Walmart and all these different things and just crazy stories about women shitting on the floor at Walmart.
Yeah, that happens.
And yeah, like you said, it feels like kind of a second chance, even though, yeah, I mean, time feels like it keeps getting faster the older you get. I remember when I was a kid, it felt like it took forever to get to Christmas. I was like, God, I can't wait for Christmas. I gotta wait this many months, and it just takes forever. And now I'm like, oh shit, it's like October already. Like,
yeah, it goes by so damn fast, and I hate it.
Yeah, I don't quite understand how that works, but I'm terrified to see how fast it gets when I'm in like my 40s.
Yeah, it just snowballs, and then you're just dead. And you're just like, oh, well, that was
cool.
cool.
You're just like, you just zone out for a second, and then you're 80, and you're like, where am I? Yeah. You're in hospice, Grandpa. I had kids? What happened?
It's like, yeah, you have dementia. What if I have dementia right now and I'm 80? What if I'm 80 and have dementia right now and I don't realize it?
This would be some serious dementia. This would be like crazy dementia.
No, I'm just stuck in a memory right now, and then I'm like actually 80 right now.
Have you ever had one of those dreams that feels completely real and goes on for a year? Like you're in this dream for an entire year. Like there was this dream I had. I was like a kid. I really wanted an iPod Touch when I was a kid. And I dreamed that I worked, I got a job, I saved up for it, I got it, and I was so happy. And it took a year for all this to happen. Like I went to school, I got a job, I had to drive back and forth, and I got my iPod Touch. And as soon as I got my iPod Touch, I went to sleep with it. I woke up, looked at my hands, there was no iPod Touch, and it had not been a year.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's it's like the Rick and Morty episode.
Yes.
Where he like lives an entire life. Yeah, I've had not exactly a year, but it was probably like a month or two. It seems like, I mean, you can tell it's kind of going by fast, but like when you wake up, you're like, oh, okay, none of that happened.
Yeah.
Like you meet a girl and you like hang out with them, and then you're like out to dinner, and it's just kind of like your imagination, I guess, is filling in the gaps where there's nothing happening. I don't know. But yeah, I've totally had stuff like that. I don't dream much anymore.
Yeah,
unless
I don't
it's
either.
like weird. Unless it's like a weird flash dream where I just like something flashes and then it's over.
I have like nightmares and that's it. Like I occasionally have a nightmare, but I won't have dreams anymore. Like what the hell happened?
I used to have weird ass psychological nightmares. Where like the whole room's just vibrating and you just hear like loud distorted noises.
Oh my god.
And it's just my room. It's just me laying in bed and I'm looking at the wall. And it's just like,
are you awake for this, or is this your sleep?
I think it's like a half.
That's like
half thing.
a waking. That's like a night terror type thing.
Yeah, they went away when I was like in my mid-20s, and I think it's because I started working out, and I guess that triggered something because maybe I'm exerting enough energy to where that doesn't happen anymore. Like I don't know, but it stopped happening. Thank God.
Maybe your body just wasn't used to working out that much. You kind of put yourself into shock.
Yeah, it was terrible, man. Those are the worst dreams ever. I remember specifically one time, this is the one that always, like, I remember, is there was this, I was laying in my bed when I lived with my parents, and I worked at GameStop, of course, and I had a poster on my wall, and it was like a advertisement for NASCAR '08 on Xbox 360 or something.
Yeah.
And it was just like a giant picture of Tony Stewart, the, like, NASCAR driver. And I remember my computer had red LEDs on it that would shine onto the wall, and I remember the dream was me just laying in my bed, and all I could see was like the Tony Stewart thing with like red shining on it, and everything was just vibrating and like distorted.
Oh my god!
And it was like terrifying.
That's awful.
That's when it started, and then it just kind of happened all the damn time.
Oh my! How often does this happen?
It felt like every day, but it probably wasn't every day.
Oh my god!
But it's gone now.
Thank God.
Now I just sleep.
That's yeah. I just sleep too, and occasionally I'm killed by something or something horrible happens to me. But that's about it when it comes to dreams.
Yeah.
So I'm actually wearing a Breaking Bad shirt because El Camino came out, but you haven't seen El Camino yet.
I have not. As of recording this, I have not.
How come?
Because my roommate watches almost everything with me.
Yeah.
And she hasn't seen Breaking Bad because she's uncultured as hell. And, like, I can't watch it because she hasn't seen Breaking Bad. I feel like I was going to actually watch it tonight while she streamed.
Yeah.
And she's streaming right now. So
I ruined it for you.
It's been ruined, damn it. That's what I'm gonna have to make a video. It's gonna be like Fanta ruined El Camino.
Fanta ruined El Camino for me.
I haven't even watched it, but I will. I want to watch it ASAP because Breaking Bad is one of the only shows I consider to be perfect. Like Firefly,
I agree.
I consider it to be absolutely perfect. And I know a lot of the characters are just terrible, but I think they're supposed to be terrible.
In Breaking Bad or Firefly?
Yeah. What's the like Walt's wife is just ghastly. She's terrible.
The worst. Yeah.
But I think she's supposed to be just terribly unlockable.
I guess, but so is Marie. Like her.
Oh, Marie's
they're
terrible.
Both
too.
awful.
Yeah, I think they're just supposed to be terrible, and you're supposed to kind of admire Hank, even though at some points you're on his side, and at some points you're not on his side.
100%.
It's the same thing as a lot of people kind of pulled for Gus Fring. Just because he was Gus Fring. Just because. Like, that's why they gave him a backstory, because it was just, he's
cool.
Yeah, and, like, that's the thing is, I think that was the whole, they tried to make every character kind of a bad guy and a good guy.
Yeah.
Like, Walt was definitely, like, both, even though you always pulled for him.
Yeah, right? I don't think, which is so screwed up, because he, like, poisons a child and, like, murders people. But
yeah, and it's because it's Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
That's the only reason, because it's Bryan Cranston.
He did such
Everybody pulls for
he did such a good job being a sympathetic character, even when he was like, "Yeah, I'm not in the money business. I'm in the empire business." It's like, okay, dude, you don't need any more money.
That
That
just goes to show how great of an actor he is, and how the only reason he wasn't able to test his talents before is because he just never had somebody like Vince Gilligan writing for it.
He also got typecasted, I'm sure, as like just the wacky dad, and then he's in Breaking Bad.
And it was perfect. And that's kind of like Joker and Joaquin Phoenix. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix. A lot of people are like, "Oh, Joaquin Phoenix is the best, one of the best actors ever." But to be honest, he's not really done a lot. I mean, he was like in Gladiator was his first big thing, and then there was like a couple things here and there, but like
he did Walk the Line.
He did Walk the Line in 2005, and Joker, like, oh my god,
Joker was probably one of the best movies. It's by far the best comic book movie I've seen since, like the Dark Knight trilogy.
Exactly.
I feel like
it easily is, and I mean, I consider it better than the Avengers movies, even though the best Avenger movie is going to be Endgame is obviously the best.
Endgame was it
was fantastic.
That was so good.
But Joker's different, and I think a lot of people don't realize that. Just this movie is the reason people consider it so violent. It's because it's so damn real.
Yes,
like
and that's why I love it.
It's not goofy ass Thor with a goofy hammer flying at you and smacking people. It's like it's real as hell. Like, and I feel like that's what superhero movies need to move towards, at least in that universe. Like even Christopher Nolan's trilogy, which is like legendary. So don't get me wrong there. I mean, it's legendary, but it is a bad guy, good guy, movie. And Joker is like the reason Joker I feel like is so successful, not only because Joaquin Phoenix's portrayal was so over the top amazing that you could like feel like the emotion in every scene. Not only not only that is that could happen. That's the thing.
100%.
That scenario actually probably has played out several times. Just not with the giant following like right out of the gate.
No.
I mean there's a following, don't get me wrong. There's all kinds of crazy people do crazy stuff that get a weird small following. But stuff like that. It happens all over the world all the time. That's why it's so real. And also, I love the fact that it touches so much on, mental health as being a, kind of a big issue, and even in current society, like.
Oh, especially in current society.
No one cares. Like, no one cares about people that have, mental conditions. And I heard this personally. I would talk to people about the movie, and I'd be like, oh my God, did you see it? What did you think? And they were like, well, it was pretty good, but I didn't like his weird tics, and I didn't like how weird he was, and I didn't like his laugh.
That's the point.
Yeah, his laugh was super annoying, and it just made me cringe. And I'm like, yeah, that's literally the point. That's how some people with mental health issues are. And that's the whole point behind the entire movie. The fact that you thought he was annoying literally proves the point.
Yeah.
Like, you can't sympathize with him because you don't understand what mental health is. I've been around mental health my whole life, so when I see that, I'm like, damn, this is so weirdly accurate. It's like, this is perfect. The way he's acting is so accurate. I mean, working at GameStop, people just coming in, you'll see people sometimes that have,
oh, for sure,
a weird tic, or maybe they're just awkward, and they act literally identical to how Joaquin Phoenix acts in the movie, except he just stuff happens. So,
but at the same time, another cool thing with the Joker is it didn't just go, oh, Joker's a bad guy. Like, Arthur, he's the bad guy. You don't want to root for him at all. I mean, you felt really sympathetic for this character because, I mean, most of the people he harmed in the beginning, one of them was self-defense until he chased the guy down and shot him in the back.
Yeah.
But the first two were self-defense. So you're kind of like, okay, I mean, I feel bad. And then he kills his mom.
Yeah.
Spoilers. Oops.
Yeah, it's the only movie, man, that I've ever witnessed that made me root so violently, like, biased towards the obvious bad guy. Even when he like descends into madness, which the scene where he's in the mental hospital on the stairs, that's when he has his official descent into madness right there. And, like, even when he's like, I'm gonna do all these crazy ass things, you're like, yes, please just do them. I have to see this, please. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're like, this guy's about to commit atrocities, and I can't damn wait. For some reason.
But he doesn't, though. Like, I believe he did not hurt his not girlfriend.
You think?
Whatever her name was. I don't think he hurt her. I think he just left. Because that seemed to be a running theme, was he only hurt people who negatively affected him. Whereas she didn't do anything wrong. She just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And that's it. She never said anything mean to him. She just said, please, my daughter's in the other room. Don't hurt me. Some people speculate he killed them and then left. But after you see how he behaved with the guy that turned him in and got him fired, he didn't kill the other guy because that guy was his friend.
Right,
He never did anything. Well, it wasn't his friend, but he never did anything wrong to him.
Right.
So he just let him leave, even though he just watched him commit a murder.
Yes, exactly.
So I feel like he left those people alive, and I feel like
that's a trope. It's a trope with comic book movies, and even if we do consider this a comic book movie, it's a trope that if it doesn't show death, then death doesn't happen. That's kind of the trope. But then again, the lady in the mental institution that was interviewing him at the end, which that could have been before or after or wherever you want to place that scene. But the lady at the end, it is totally implied that he kills her, and she's
100%.
She's just a social worker. So
that is true.
You know.
Though I feel like his first innocent person kill was the host of the TV.
Right. Yeah.
Like the TV host guy. I feel like he was the first innocent kill. Because, I mean, he didn't start shooting at the audience. He just shot that guy a bunch of times.
Yeah.
He didn't shoot the doctor lady that he awkwardly kissed for way too long. He didn't shoot the cameraman or anything like that. He just shot that guy. So I'd still argue, even though that host didn't deserve to get killed, even though he was a dickhead, I don't know. I still don't think he would have... I feel like that would have ruined the character. I understand that, he does kind of... I feel like that's the point where he really goes past the deep end. Like, he cracks, and then he kills his mom, and then kills the TV show host, and then the chaos starts, and I think that's when the chaos starts.
Yeah.
Even for him, too. I think he's just completely broken. And then there's, of course, the theory that nothing happened.
Exactly,
in the movie, and that he was in that mental asylum the whole time. I don't want to think that because that's kind of lame.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say a minute ago. I was like, when he was getting interviewed by her, like, it also implies that, maybe none of it ever happened.
Yeah.
Because of when he was thinking back to the alley scene, he was like, I thought of a funny joke.
Yeah.
Like, none of that could have happened. He probably just built it on his head.
But who knows? I don't know. I don't think there'll ever be a sequel to it, but I would argue that there could be.
It doesn't need one. But
doesn't need one,
Joaquin Phoenix has made the statement that he is open to doing another one, but the director also said there will not be another one, so I would like there to be.
So he made 3 Hangover movies, but he won't make a second Joker. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally if there was a second one, I would see it in a damn heartbeat. Just to see Joaquin Phoenix do it more. I don't even care about the damn story. I just want to see him act that character more. I mean, and he
did it so well.
That'd be so cool if they kind of, I mean, this is a different iteration of the Joker completely, but it'd be really cool for this universe to converge and make a Batman that's more realistic and really extremely dark, and that come into contact with that. Dude, that would be freaking wicked as hell.
Make him more of a detective character.
Yeah.
Because, it started off as Detective Comics, right?
Yeah.
So make him more of a detective character instead of a flying around gadget tank guy. Make him more grounded in realism, and he's got some extra tech to help him detect stuff.
Yeah.
Or what did I just say? Anyway, but don't make it like silly crap, and maybe have some of Batman's encounters go wrong, where when he's hitting people and like breaking bones, he sees he actually has some sort of repercussions for the damage he's doing to people.
Yeah.
I mean, you see in the Christopher Nolan movies, he's like hitting them with the metal spikes on his arm in the face.
Yeah.
I'm like, that would kill somebody in real life.
Exactly.
But in the movie, he doesn't hurt anybody. And something that also bothered me about the Christopher Nolan films was it was going for realism. And I talked about this in my review. But whenever they're shooting anybody, nothing happens.
Yeah.
It's like a T-rated video game where you shoot somebody and they just kind of like react to it and fall over.
Yeah.
But there's no like squibs. There's no blood.
Squibs.
There's nothing.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, they're fantastic movies, but then again, they are comic book movies, so they have to follow a certain trope. That's why I would really like to see this format kind of open up to the entire universe and not just Joker. I don't see that happening though, because I mean it would be so dark in every direction. I mean, Batman wouldn't be a good guy nor a bad guy, just like Joker. It'd be two depressed ass guys that are screwed up, like basically going at it. And I think, and one thinks he's doing good, and the other thinks he's doing good. I mean, they both think they're doing righteous things. So
yeah. Does Arthur think he's doing the righteous thing? I mean, he doesn't in the beginning. He just kind of does things.
Well,
he's just kind of defending himself from things. And I
feel like the people that he kills, especially the host, is somebody that he believes deserves it. Because he says, no one cares. Basically, he's like, you just laugh at us and no one cares, implying that this person, it's better for this person to not exist. So that's why he kills him.
Oh, so he'd be more of like a vigilante character if this were to continue.
Exactly. Yeah.
That'd be cool, actually.
Yeah.
I'd really like that.
I hope it continues. I just hope more happens.
Me too. Did you ever see Blade Runner 2049?
I did not.
I think if you like Joker, I've said this in my review as well, if you liked the Joker movie, you need to see Blade Runner 2049. It is, I think that was my favorite movie theater experience before the Joker. It still might beat it a bit just because the sound design and the atmosphere and just everything in the movie I don't know, I felt like I just got sucked into the world, and I think you'll really like it. You don't have to watch the first Blade Runner to watch it too. I watched the first Blade Runner. It was okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm going to get skewered in the comments for saying that. But Blade Runner 2049 was just phenomenal. I highly recommend it. I don't know if it's on anything. You might have to get like the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can stream it anywhere, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch it because if it's anything like that. I mean, the best theater experience I've had before the Joker. It's been a minute, and it was what was it? It was
besides the Marvel movies.
Yes, Which, I mean, Endgame was great, but it didn't give me that
Yeah.
experience that Joker gave me. And probably the last movie that did was Interstellar. That movie...
I missed that in theaters. I was so upset with myself because I watched that on Netflix or something, and it was mind-blowing.
I was like hyperventilating at like some points of the movie, like when they're going into the wormhole that just looks like a circle of water. Like I was like, I watched it in IMAX 3D. I was like hyperventilating because I have an irrational fear of space. So the whole movie, I'm just like freaking out.
Oh man,
especially
that's
the black hole.
That's the worst movie to watch.
The black hole,
3D.
I could almost not even look when like he was going into the black hole.
Oh man,
I hate black.
That was such another powerful emotional movie. I feel like we both like the same sort of movies. It sounds like.
I cry. I ugly cry every time I watch Interstellar. Like,
really?
Yeah, dude. If a girl is like hanging out with me and she's like, let's watch Interstellar. I'm like, what? I can't because I'll ugly cry right beside you, and you're gonna be like, what's going on? Why is this guy ugly crying beside me?
I know what you mean. Like, I don't want to spoil it. I know it's an older movie, and I already spoiled the Joker. I'm gonna try to put timestamps so I don't ruin it for anybody. But my lord, yeah, Interstellar, especially just that ending. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
It was unexpected. And there's a lot of people that for some reason don't like Interstellar. They say like, oh, well, this isn't realistic, blah, blah, blah. It's like, how do you know?
Yeah.
We've never been inside of a wormhole.
Exactly. You don't know.
I mean,
and every Nolan film is pretty fantastic. You can't go wrong. The only film I didn't really care for was Dunkirk, and that's just because I had no idea what was happening 90% of the time. Wasn't his fault. I mean, it was a great movie. The cinematography was all great. It was just I was like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening ever.
I'm glad I'm not alone there. I think I was watching it like the worst possible environment. I was on like a plane and I was watching it like an iPod Touch. So this little tiny screen. I'm trying to watch Dunkirk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not working out. I don't know who these people are. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. Did you watch that one in theaters?
Yeah, I saw Dunkirk in theaters. And I just didn't know what was happening, which is it's probably my fault. Because I just didn't know what was happening.
It's a different kind of film.
Yeah.
It's like there's like several main characters, sort of.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really remember.
Yeah, and
exactly
that one kid just like I don't remember what happens to that one kid on the boat. He just trips and smacks his face and he's just dead. I'm just like, what's happening?
Oh, that pissed me off.
Yeah, and I'm like, why is this kid just what does that actually happen?
He
People just
died.
Trip?
I'm like, are you serious?
That's literally like it's like a stereotypical thing. I tripped and just died.
I tripped and died. That's what happened in the movie.
Like, what the hell? So,
did you ever see Memento?
I don't think so.
That's another Christopher. That's one of his first films, I believe, and that movie is such a mindfuck. It's so good.
Yeah,
another one you need to see if you like those.
I always really enjoyed The Prestige a lot.
Oh, I love The Prestige.
Yeah, dude, I watched that like recently, and I'm just damn, it's so damn good. Oh my god. So damn good.
I've seen it. I've seen it so many times, and it's one of those movies where you just keep picking up on new things.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's perfect. It's just like Interstellar. I mean, I've seen Interstellar like 100 times. I watch it like once a month. Just have to.
Damn.
The freaking soundtrack, man. It's just all so beautiful. Love it.
That's how I was with Goodfellas for a while. I was watching like
Goodfellas
once a month. Yeah. That might be my favorite movie of all time. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it's definitely.
Yeah. I remember watching it. My mom showed it to me when I was like pretty young because she loved gangster movies, and she showed it to me, and dude, that was my favorite movie all the way up until like I saw Shawshank Redemption for the first time.
That's also a good movie.
Yeah, and then Shawshank Redemption became my favorite movie, and then it was, I think it's like the only movie that ever toppled that for like a decade was Interstellar. And I think soundtracks and general atmosphere of movies means a lot more to me than a lot of people.
Yes.
Like
yes.
The soundtrack and the monologue that's always happening in Goodfellas is just amazing. And
it's so
Interstellar, the music and everything just kind of adds to the anxiety in most scenes. They did a good job, and that's why Hans Zimmer should do like just the soundtrack for every movie ever. That's what he does. So,
I wonder who did the soundtrack for Blade Runner 2049. But yeah, I mean, you're talking about environment and the theme and all of the background to the movie and the soundtrack. God.
Yeah, it makes.
I'm so sad you didn't get to see this in theaters.
It makes it
oh man,
those things make it an experience, and that's why
I agree.
I've always thought like the Lord of the Rings trilogy was perfect, just because it was such a damn experience. Like the soundtrack. I mean, I listen to the soundtrack in my car, man. Like it's just
I don't. Yeah.
it's just beautiful. Like everything's beautiful. 100% of everything's just beautiful. So
Yeah, it's got the helicopter shots.
Yeah.
It's got the New Zealand is just beautiful.
Yeah.
Like it's just.
yeah,
I feel like everybody that enjoys that movie always wants to go to New Zealand. I'm one of those people. I just want to go. I want to walk the same route they did.
I am
Like, that'd be
also
awesome.
I am also that. I am also that.
Yeah.
I want to go to New Zealand and just like stay in like one of the little hobbit holes.
They have those.
Yeah, you can stay in them. Like you can actually rent one of them, and they were for show at first, and then now I believe they have an entire shire, and you can rent them. I'm pretty sure the price is unrealistically huge, but
Oh.
maybe one
Damn.
day.
Yeah.
So
Oh man, that'd be sick. I want to stay in a hobbit home.
yeah, one day.
One
Even
day.
though
Yeah,
I'll have to bend down to get into the doors, unfortunately, but that's fine. I don't mind.
Well, what did you think of the Hobbit though? The Hobbit trilogy.
I mean, it was okay. It was CG heavy and boring. It was a nice return to Middle Earth.
Exactly.
And the lore, but other than that, it was like, it was obviously didn't get anywhere close to Lord of the Rings. Too much CG, too many goofy ass dwarfs. I mean, I like dwarfs, but damn, there's like 90 of them, and like Gandalf was pretty much the entire movie. And even though I like the dude that played Bilbo, I like him in Sherlock, like I like him in a lot of stuff he does, I just didn't
Sherlock
really care
so
for
good.
him as Bilbo.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree.
So
I agree. I never really connected to Bilbo.
Nope.
I mean, I was just like, I like the environment,
yeah,
but that's it.
the lore is the
Just
only
happy.
reason I watched it.
Hugo Weaving's back.
Yeah,
That's cool.
at least there's that.
But and then there's a new Matrix movie that they're gonna come.
I saw
Speaking of,
I saw the cast of it today, and like it has Neil Patrick Harris in it apparently, and that's pretty freaking cool. And
That's cool,
yeah,
but
and at least
yeah.
Keanu Reeves, as long as his face is somewhere in the movie, I don't even give a damn. I don't give a damn. As long as one of the Wachowskis is working on it, doesn't matter to me.
Yep.
As long as it has the same formula and it brings back that sweet ass like early 2000s weird trench coat like vibe that was cool for 2
I
seconds.
agree.
As long as they bring
We
that
gotta bring
back.
that back.
Yeah,
Gotta bring that
the
back.
weird EDM like I need all of it. I don't even
agree.
care if it's dated. I just want it back.
I don't want it to be like the third movie, and I don't need a 10-minute orgy like the second movie.
Right.
Just make the movie like the first one.
Yeah.
Because the first one I feel like was perfect. It unfortunately ends at a cliffhanger, so every single time I watch it, I'm like, I feel like I need to watch the second one now.
Yep.
But I really don't want to.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Is like all they have to have is good choreography and fighting and stuff and like leather and shiny stuff, and that's it. That's all you gotta do. Like the third one, the reason it was so unsuccessful is because it's Zion the entire damn time. There's like no Matrix.
Yeah, it's
just Zion.
There's like mechs and shooting robots and I'm like, I don't care. I just want to see Agent Smith and Mr. Anderson.
Yeah, I just
fight it out.
I just want to see fighting, man. That's all I care about.
Yeah. There's like that weird thing where he plugs himself. It's just strange, super strange.
Yeah.
So for the next consoles, which one do you think you're gonna get? So what do you have right? Do you have any consoles right now?
Oh, yeah.
Or do you mainly just play PC?
1 second, I'm gonna check to see if this is still recording. My neck hurts.
Go for it.
Awesome.
All good?
Yep. So say that one more again, if you don't mind.
So which of the new consoles are you gonna get?
Okay, so I'm pretty much a Sony guy, which is weird because I was a 360 guy for so long. But like when the PS4 came out, it was almost like the PS4 was the next 360, and the Xbox was some weird system that the Xbox One just didn't make sense. And as soon as they announced that every Xbox One title was going to be on PC, I was like, well, there's literally no point in this system existing anymore, because Bloodborne is still not on PC, and it's great. So I've been a Sony guy, and I'm probably gonna end up getting the PS5 anyway. Even though that being said, I don't play PS4. I play I play exclusively PC. Like, and it's not because like PS4 is bad or anything. It's just when I get home, I sit in this chair and I have Steam right in front of me, and I'm just like, what game do I want to play? Resident Evil 2 came out, and I'm like, well, I could literally click this and buy Resident Evil 2 on Steam right now, or I could turn my PS4 on, turn the controller on, go find it, put my credit card number in, buy it, and then So my PC is like 8 times more powerful than my PS4. Probably like 20 times more powerful than my PS4. So I can play everything like on max everything, and it's all just available at the touch of a like button. I don't know. And it's so much easier to stream. It's all so much easier just to do
It is.
PC.
I mean, you need like an Elgato, and you need like the whole setup, and you gotta get all the sources correct, whereas PC you just kind of go game.
Yeah.
Though I've had some difficulties with some games on Steam for some reason, or at least on the PC rather, when I'm trying to stream them. Like Doom for some reason. I know I saw you playing that. How did you get that to work in the stream? For some reason I was having issues.
I had an issue where my audio kept changing. Like my voice kept getting low and deep and weird. All I did was I went into my audio settings and just changed one setting that completely fixed it, because apparently the game runs at a different hertz of like audio than my mic was recording at, so it kept conflicting. Other than that, it was easy as pie. I mean, I record everything in window mode. I don't play any full screen. Like I always go. The first thing I do when I turn a game on is put it on window mode.
Like the borderless window mode?
Yeah, exactly. If it has borderless window, if it only has window mode, I just put it in window mode. But
I'll try that. Yeah,
that always works. That's just so much easier to me. And I need a capture card, because as soon as Medieval comes out for PS4, I will be playing that 100%.
Yeah, I'm getting that too.
I have a tattoo.
I never.
So I have.
You have a tattoo of it?
Yeah, it's this one. It's right here. It's the Daniel Fortescue.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Daniel Fortescue. I've had this tattoo since I was 22 or something. And I didn't think they would ever make a remake. And then when they made Crash, I was like, huh. There's only 3 titles on PlayStation 1 that had that feel and that IP of that character. And it was Spyro, Crash, and Medieval. But I was like, well, they never did anything with Medieval after PS1.
I was surprised.
Which is weird, because it's a great... I mean, they did the PSP game, which was a remake of the first, but it's such a great damn game. And then when they announced the remake, and it was basically the exact same style as... They're going to do the exact same game, they're just going to make it like they did with Crash, I was like, oh, God. Yeah. So I'm just going to be naked the entire time.
It's just blur from neck down.
Yeah.
That's
the one I'll stream on Twitch, because I'll just get banned, so... It's fun.
I've never played the Medieval game before, so I'm super excited to try it for the first time.
Dude, I played. I remember getting the Pizza Hut demos on PlayStation 1, and I remember it would let you go through the graveyard, and then you get the next Pizza Hut demo, and it would let you go to the top of the graveyard, and then the next one would let you go through the cathedral. Dude, it was all. They would just let you go do another stage, and I would.
That's awesome.
I would get it every single time, just so I could. And the same thing with Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid was on the pizza demos, and it would let you go up the elevator on the first one, and then it would let you go through the snow area on the second one, and then the third one would let you get all the way to the DARPA chief. So those Pizza Hut demos saved my life, because I was the kind of kid that got one game a year.
Oh yeah, I very rarely got a new game.
Yeah, so the Pizza Hut demos literally changed my life, because I could just play Medieval. I mean, I played Medieval's first 3 stages probably a year before I ever actually played the game. So,
damn. I had that with a lot of games as well, because on my PS2 had all the Jam Pack.
Yeah.
I like the Jam Pack game. I think that came with my PlayStation, or my parents bought it for 99 cents because it was so cheap. But I kept playing those demos over and over and over and over, and I just had so much fun with it. And that's when I finally got ATV Off-Road Fury, because I was like, oh, this game's awesome. It's just grunge music and ATVs. This is so much fun. You can jump off of the big craters. And did you ever play that game, ATV Off-Road Fury?
Oh
yeah, that game was the shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did not have a PS1. I had an N64, so they're not shoving cartridges in those pizza boxes, unfortunately.
Exactly.
So I was just oh, I wish I could play that demo, but instead I got stuck with do you remember when they gave out DVDs occasionally with pizzas? Remember one time I got Weekend at Bernie's for some reason? I was
I don't remember that. I don't know. I don't really. I think I didn't ever go to Pizza Hut after that. After the PS1.
You're like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah,
that's all.
There was one Pizza Hut in my city, and as soon as Little Caesars became a thing with the $5, that was it. Pizza Hut was irrelevant. Just because of price, because Pizza Huts were $30, and at like it doesn't matter if it's cardboard or not. It's $5. So
Pizza's so cheap nowadays. Yep. It's like the most affordable food ever, which is unfortunate because it's not healthy at all. But you can get like, I mean, you go to Domino's or something, it's like $5.99, two topping carry out, and it's like I can eat this for 3 days for $6, or I could just get a real meal, and it's gonna be $6 for that one meal, and then I still have to buy dinner, and I still have to buy, tomorrow's food. So in college, with my 24-hour pizza, like Domino's down the street, I just got Domino's.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's crazy because there's authentic like Italian pizza places all over the city I live in, and they're like they're the most expensive you can find, and they're only like $14. Yeah. And it'll change your life, man. They're like so delicious. So
I wish I need to look up more authentic, because near me where I live, I'm like outside of the main city.
No.
I'm not like in like the middle of nowhere or anything, but for some reason it's just like chains. Like I'm just surrounded by chains. I mean, I can get Pizza Hut, Domino's, Papa John's, Little Caesars, but to find like an actual authentic Italian place that's gonna have pizza, there's like no mom and pop places around here. It's like I'm gonna go to either Chili's or Applebee's or some other huge brand name thing, but like finding a restaurant, it's like impossible unless I go to Phoenix, which is a pretty fun place to visit. But yeah, I wish I. Yeah, you got pizza places for days.
My city is one of those cities that house all these indie shops and everything. It's just one of those cities. It's like a college town. There's so many indie places. So that's probably why there's so many goofy used game places. So.
Do you like living in Alabama?
Yeah, well, every place in Alabama that I lived in previously was nightmarish. It was just desolate and terrible until I moved to this city. When I moved to this city, like this city feels like freaking New York City to me. It feels great. I enjoy it. I have no problems with living here. There's so much to do, and there's so many like amenities in every direction. It's just a great place. It's super populated. So that's probably why. So
yeah,
and it's safe.
It's kind of really, that's cool.
Yeah.
That usually doesn't come with super populated.
Exactly.
Usually it's like pick one.
Yeah,
safe or populated.
Yeah, it's like one of the safest cities in the state, and it's like I guess because it's the poverty rate in my city is extremely low.
Okay.
Whereas if you go, there's another city in Alabama called Anniston, which has the highest crime rate, and it's like almost entirely poverty. So I mean that with poverty comes crime. People have to make ends meet. Yeah. So I mean, that's how it is.
Damn. Is that where you used to live? Was the
Anniston? No.
The other place?
Oh
just
God, I'd be dead.
Okay.
I lived in the second worst one. It was called Gadsden. It was terrible.
Gotcha.
It was a very high crime rate. It's like it gets worse and worse every year too. So.
Yeah, I have to, because where I live right now is like the least crime. Like the crime rate's the lowest out of everywhere in the area, but where I have to drive to for work is like the most, like the biggest crime rate.
It's like culture shock. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how it was when I used to drive to my store. It was like driving to one of the worst cities, and when it comes to like violence, from the safest. It was weird.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is for me too. So I'm just looking up what else we had for ideas. Is there anything you wanted to talk about?
Not that I can think of. We talked about pretty much all the stuff I would talk about.
What do you think about the whole Blizzard thing? I was gonna make a video on it, but I just didn't. I guess.
The Blizzard thing. I don't know.
Yes.
I'm not a super political guy, and I know it doesn't really do, I guess, a lot with politics. It's just kind of a human thing, a human rights thing.
Yeah.
But like I said, we talked a little bit earlier, like through text, but I think Blizzard probably shouldn't have reacted. They should have probably just been like, hey, maybe tell the guy he shouldn't say that. I don't know, like banning him from competition for a year. I mean, the fact that they didn't think there was going to be any backlash from that, it's pretty dumb. But then again, like, I don't know. I think they were way too harsh on the guy.
Yeah, I don't think there should have been any repercussions at all.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a reason that our country has the first, amendment. So, which it's very loosely used nowadays. But
Yeah, it's scary.
yeah. But then again, the whole point is, he should be able to say what he needs to say and not fear that, a nation will attack, a distributor or whatever. Which, it's a whole big weird situation. And then there was like reports that Blizzard was freezing people's WoW accounts so they couldn't cancel them.
I heard about that.
Yeah, and that's insane. Of course, that's insane. So, I mean, it's a dumb situation. I think they should have probably just not done anything, and seeing if China would have reacted bad.
Yeah, and I feel like they would have though, because did you hear about the NBA?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
the NBA. I don't follow sports really, so some guy, I guess, tweeted out in support of Hong Kong, and then now none of the NBA or something like that is viewable in China.
Yeah, and then like all these players are like coming out in support of China, and I'm like,
yeah, what the hell? Like LeBron James.
Yeah, how do you fight for poverty, quote unquote? How do you fight for poverty and freedom of speech in America for the people in your neighborhood, but you support the complete opposite ideology in another country? Come on, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, a country with like 3 million people in concentration camps and forced abortions and crazy shit like that.
Let's be honest though. If a country offered me like $20 million to be like, hey, don't say anything bad and say you love us, I would probably that's all I would talk about.
You'd do it, huh?
Every YouTube video would be like, why I love China Part 18. That's fine. I would make it my mission. I mean, so a lot of people, I feel like, don't look at it that way. They're like, oh, screw that guy. But I'm like, dude, you offer me $20 million. You can sit on my face. I don't care what you do. You can do anything. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but the difference is that we're not already super rich. Like, these are the rich that are already getting richer. It's like, does the NBA really need that much more money? Does LeBron James really need that much more money?
Yeah.
Activision Blizzard, who makes Call of Duty and World of Warcraft, like the most popular games out there, do you really need that much more money?
Yeah, and that's the first thing that always comes to my mind. Is like, why would anybody need more money than these people have? And then you think it's like a perspective thing. Like, to me, $10,000 would be a lot of money until think about it. For example, when I was 16, $10,000 seemed like more money than I would ever have in my life. Now, if I only had $10,000 and I was unemployed or something, like, I would have an anxiety attack and die. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I can only survive for 6 months. You know what I'm saying? Maybe.
Yeah.
With budgeting. So, like, I guess it's just a perspective thing.
You could argue that, but I mean, nobody needs millions of dollars. I mean, I can't even imagine what I would do with millions.
100 million.
Like,
100 million is my bare minimum. Like, so if
100 million?
I would need at least $100 million. And then I would get to the point where I'm like, I'm good. 100 million.
To 100 million.
100
Damn,
100 million. Because I would start like an auto company, and I would do so many things that I've always weirdly wanted to do, like maybe start a Formula One team, because you could do that with that money. Or maybe start like a NASCAR team, or just like an auto sports team. Just start one, and for some reason that's what I've always wanted to do. And that's like the bare minimum's $100 million. Other than that,
is that really the bare minimum?
Yeah, like there. I mean, I'm not sure about Formula One, but I know NASCAR, just to run like one car a year, like with, everything involved, it's like $10 million.
Oh my god!
So I would want to do it for like 4 years at least, and try to make it work. But
that's great. Well, couldn't you just get a bunch of sponsors though? Aren't those cars like just covered in different sponsors?
They are, but the sponsorship barely pays anything anymore. I mean, it's pretty much.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's not like it was. Like, drivers' wages went. I mean, most of the drivers only make a couple $100,000 a year, whereas back in 2005, like, for example, like Jeff Gordon was making $50 million a year probably.
Damn.
And this is in sponsorship, everything combined. So now they don't make crap, just because there's just all the sponsors left. I mean, all the big Target's not in it anymore. Lowe's left last year. Like, all the big ones are gone.
Is it just because the viewership is down?
I guess. And like NASCAR makes some weird decisions politically, especially when their core their core fan base is like straight up redneck ass. So like
Yeah.
they always kind of have a leftist, like they align themselves with leftists, which just is not. I mean, I don't have any problem with that. Me, I don't.
Yeah.
But I could. Their core fans would. So and they might piss off sponsors and stuff like that. And also, like you said, the viewership's not there anymore. So
It's always strange when companies get political. It's like,
it seems like every damn company's
what are you
political
doing?
about it.
I know. Yeah.
Like-
Every company is trying to make themselves look like the king of like social justice and like, oh, look what we're doing right now. Look at how great we are. But I feel like every single time they do that, a bunch of people will swoop in and go, yeah, but you did this. This was way worse than any good little thing you're doing right now.
Yeah, and
Which is why the whole get woke, go broke thing.
yeah, I think what I think
the
that has
same.
to do with is a company's even if they don't support the ideology, they do it because it creates such a conversation. Like
That too.
they don't care about the actual thing they're talking about. I think it just brings their company into the limelight. For example, like when
I agree,
Gillette did
yeah.
it. I mean,
Yeah, I
have
was
you
gonna
ever
mention
just
that.
thought about Gillette? Hell no. Like, have you ever just been like walking down the street and you'd be like, oh, dude, Gillette. Like, no, you haven't. Like, that doesn't happen. But when that happened, every damn person in the U.S. was talking and tweeting about Gillette, which means more to them than any money probably does. So
Yeah.
that's probably why they did it, because it's just like a talking point. Like, everybody's talking about it, and because most people like disagreed with it. Like, so.
And then you could go on the non-political spectrum, and you can look at what IHOP did when they called
Yeah.
it IHOB, and so they were changing
Yeah.
their name, and everybody freaked out. And I remember seeing like these marketing emails coming in about how it was a failed marketing thing, and I was like, "Are you sure?" And then like a month or two later, when they changed their name back to IHOP on all their social media platforms, they're like, "Wow, that was one of
Yeah,
the best." Marketing things ever, because everybody was talking about them. It's like, yeah, that's
Yep.
what all
It's
those
just-
other
it just
companies are
brings
doing
in,
too.
It brings in stuff, which is it's understandable. I mean, there's probably some marketing guy somewhere that's like, you know what, let's jump on the bandwagon on this movement, and then everybody will be talking about us, and we'll make millions in ad revenue or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's not working for GameStop.
No.
Because everybody's talking about how shitty GameStop is, but GameStop is still going down the drain.
Yeah, I guess the difference in GameStop and every other company ever is because Gillette is sold in every damn store.
That's true.
Whereas GameStop's it's a place that you have to go inside. No one's going to their damn website because it's terrible, and like
They changed it recently.
yeah, and it's just terrible. It's always been terrible, and look at the people in charge of their social media platforms. Oh my god, it's ghastly. They can't even get like subscribers or views on YouTube without buying them. You ever noticed how like half their videos have 2,000 views and 2,000 upvotes and 0 comments? Like, come on, dude. Like, how are they not getting deleted? Like,
I can't think of a single company that has done YouTube correctly.
they just buy their support. I mean, the same. I've seen companies on Twitter, like random insert company name here, and they have like 10 million followers, and they get like 2
Nobody's
likes
heard of
on their tweets, and I'm like, oh, get out of
Yeah.
it. Come on, dude. They just like slid a company card and bought a bunch of Indian like made up follower crap.
But it doesn't do anything.
Exactly. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't garner like interaction. So what's the point?
No.
What's the point,
Yeah.
man? And that's exactly what GameStop does. Like, you can go to their social blade and they get the exact same amount of subscribers every single day, and their viewership is literally nothing. It's like 300 views in one day, and they get like 100 subscribers. And I'm like, that's not how that works. Like, I can get 100,000 views in a day, and I'm only going to get 150 or 200 subscribers. Like, that's how that
Yeah.
works.
Yeah, it's so strange how subscriptions and all that stuff work. I mean, we were just talking about how YouTube, you're now, experiencing kind of like a big dip. And if you look, I've looked at a lot of other channels besides a couple that are still doing really well. Most channels are down by like 50-60% in views and watch time, in subscribers. I don't understand why this happens, but it seems to happen on a fairly regular basis, which is why when I was kind of having my own golden age like a year ago, it was cut short by one of these periods that's happening right now for everybody.
Yeah.
I don't really know what it is.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't. Well, if you, I've paid attention to the analytics really closely, and you can actually see that I can go to a video that has, say, 180,000 views, and it will say 96% of the views came from the homepage on YouTube. The homepage on YouTube is very important. The homepage on YouTube is where all the views come from, and that's what I click on, dude. When I go to YouTube, and it pulls up my homepage, and there's those what is it? There's like 16 videos right there in front of you. That's what I click on. So I mean, if I'm doing it, everybody's doing it, and I can go to one of my biggest videos, and it will say 92% homepage views, and I can go to one of my recent videos that has only like 25,000, and it's like almost 0% homepage. And it's because if you go to your homepage now, I don't know if your homepage is like this. Mine's like this, and I've had a few people tell me theirs is like this. But my homepage right now, for some damn reason, and I've actually one thing I've done is I went and actually said I don't enjoy this content, and they remove it. You can actually click the little three dots and it'll remove it for you. But my homepage, every time I pulled it up for like a week now, was just news channels, like, and news clips from CNN, CNBC, MSNBC, stuff like that I've never watched in my entire life. And it's like recommended for you. And I'm like, no, I don't care about any of that stuff. Like, I just don't care about any of that stuff.
Yeah, mine seems to be working just fine. It's got all these videos from either channels I haven't subscribed to yet that I've just watched a couple of. It's got some of my subscription feed on my main page. So it's so strange. It's not only is it not putting your videos on the home page anymore, it's just not recommending your videos. Because that's another thing where I got most of my views from during my golden age on this channel was I'd see like 95% recommended videos. It's like, okay, so it's just on somebody's sidebar.
Yeah.
And people kept talking about how they kept seeing my video pop up in their sidebar, and I'm like, okay, I'll just watch it.
Yeah.
And
exactly. That's how it works. And the weird thing is, I have notifications turned on for my roommate. My roommate is also a YouTuber. And I have notifications turned on for her, and I never get notifications when she goes live or when she posts videos.
Notifications suck.
Ever. So obviously the notification portion doesn't work at all. Recommendations don't work at all. I mean, how it should work, and this is the theory of how it should work, is when you have 50,000 subscribers. When you upload a video, every single one of the people that has subscribed to you, in those little 16 videos or those little videos on the homepage, it should just be chronological. Here's your new video for every single subscriber. They don't have to send you a notification if your bell's not clicked, but it has to be on the front page. And mine never is. I'm subscribed to only like 6 channels, only, and they've never been on my front page in the last month. It's always just random crap.
That's strange.
It's like I saw one today, and it was like just some state of
You're right with the news. Yeah,
it was like
actually, I'm thinking about it.
Something about Trump and something about this other thing, and I'm like, what? And I was, what is this? I don't even know what this is. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not a very political person, so I don't really care about all that stuff.
I'm not either. Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's frustrating that YouTube more and more seems to just be picking on the little guy.
Yeah.
I don't get why.
And the thing is, we're totally profitable. I mean, if you put us in recommended, people click on it. But then again, if a company comes to YouTube and they're like, hey, we'll give you $20 million to only recommend us for the next 2 months, I mean, they're probably making more in that deal anyway. So that's probably why, because that's what I always ask myself. I'm like, dude, I'm profitable though. I can make it, the ad revenue, and they can get their cut of it, and it'll be great. But then again, this one company giving them this much money probably... Is
that what you think is going on with the news and everything? Is that the news channels are just giving YouTube money to promote? And because I've seen I just thought about it. Even though my homepage isn't like this right now, you're right. It's just streams of oh, here's CNN, here's NBC, here's Fox, here's...
Yeah. It's that if you can go to those channels and they have 1 million subscribers, and you can go to their videos, and some videos have 800 views and some have 100,000. So it's totally it's artificial. I mean, it's like the trending tab. In America, the trending tab's
bull.
For some reason in America, it's like NHL and Jimmy Fallon, and it doesn't even, they can have
Ellen.
Yeah, it'll have like 7,000 views, and it's trending number 3. And PewDiePie could have like 38 million in the first hour, and it's not even on trending. So that's not what trending means. Change the name to things that
Sponsored.
people that sponsored, exactly
Yeah.
sponsored. That's perfect. But sponsored it's a kind of a bad word. So
Oh, definitely. I mean, there's so many ads out there because of ad block. There's like sponsored articles and sponsored ads because they got to get around that ad block.
So we're screwed. Maybe hopefully in like a week or two it'll be better. I hope so.
I hope so. I mean, I'm seeing the subscribers go back up a little bit. I've noticed a trend of it going back up. I had a day that was 0, and that was insane. I haven't seen that happen in a very long time, where I got 0 subscribers for a day. I guess I wasn't even existing on YouTube.
Yep.
But at least we're not experiencing another like subscriber loss thing.
Yeah.
Did you ever go through that?
That's something I don't understand how that. I mean, you would have to say something controversial or do something controversial.
Oh no! This was YouTube going through people's accounts and just unsubscribing people.
Oh, I've heard. You know Jefferson. Jefferson's he's a guy. We both know that guy. He said he had to actually resubscribe to me like twice because he was just not subscribed.
Yeah, I've had comments like that all the time.
So I mean, that's
just unsubscribe.
That's a thing, but I've never seen a day that was like negative or like I lost subscribers. I've never seen that before. So
I think it's been a little over a year since it's happened, but there was a day where people lost thousands.
Yeah.
I lost I think 400 or 500 subscribers that day, and it took a long time to recover from that.
Yeah, and that was before I was even had thought about doing YouTube. So
yeah.
So I didn't get to experience any of that.
Yeah. When was the like turning point that you wanted to like start doing YouTube? Was it when like the videos started picking up?
Well, I did. My first video was like last November, and I don't even know why I did it. I just like made a video, and then I just made like 6 or 7 more. It was just like almost like goofy little projects, and I put like one up a week, and then I stopped doing it in March. And in May, I was like out of state for my roommate's graduation, and I like looked at my phone. I had like a notification, and I looked at it, and I had like 100,000 views overnight on one video, and like 1,000 comments, and then it was like appearing in articles on different websites, and I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Damn.
And 4 days later, it was at over 1 million views, and I had no idea what was going on. So I was like, I guess I should probably make a video right when I get home. So I made a video when I got home, and like I shit you not, it was 60,000 views in like the first 3 days. So I just made a video like every other day, and they just continued to like go up, and it just never stopped. And then Clean Prince made that video about me, which made it all restart and happen again. And now I'm just making videos, and it's not like I just do things that I enjoy and try to point out stuff that's completely wrong. Like I'll make a video about like Amazon just treating their employees
God,
like employees in Indonesia or something, and they totally get away with it, and they pay no taxes at all.
Yeah, that's such a big problem with these huge companies, is they're just not paying taxes. I don't quite understand how they get away with that. Like I don't either. I don't get it, but I mean, hey,
that's why we're here. That's why so we can make a video and be like, hey, this is not right, and then people watch it, I guess. I don't know.
One last thing, I'll let you go after this because I'm sure you want to go watch El Camino or
exactly.
something. Oh shit! I just forgot my question. Oh my god! I feel like I have dementia. We talked about that in the beginning.
Yes, I'm 80 now. I'm 80 right now.
I can't believe that just happened. It was a good question too.
Anything to do with GameStop, Walmart video games?
Oh, yes, thank you. Okay, so Now, what really baffles me, and I want to get your take on this, because when I see this happen, which it's been happening a lot recently in the comments, I don't really know why, are the like corporate defenders. I don't understand where these people are coming from, if you know what I mean. Like these people that will say, why are you just whining? Like, what do you mean Walmart's not that big of a deal? Or I love Walmart. What do you mean? Or when I like am shitting on a game for like their insane amount of microtransactions, like the new Ghost Recon game. They're like, oh, they're not making you buy anything. It's like, what is wrong with your brain that you are defending a company that is trying to siphon out as much money as they possibly can out of your wallet, and instead of fighting it, you are actively fighting against the people that are trying to make these stores and video games better.
Dude, that's one thing that has always boggled my mind, and I'll never understand it when people basically, well, even people on the GameStop Reddit, because they have shit posts Sundays, and I'm always on there. There's just my damn face is just, I'll like scroll through it, and there's my face, and I'm just like, God damn.
That's awesome, man. Free advertising.
So, I don't understand why they defend it so violently when that company, like, they could die in their store, like from a robbery or something, some tragedy, and that company would not give a flying damn. They don't give a damn about you, and they don't even give a damn that you're defending them. They don't even care. Like, and the thing, what it boils down to is, I'm a conspiracy theorist. Amazon, a news report came out recently that Amazon was paying a large group of people to basically go to websites and videos and stuff like that and defend work there. To act like workers.
Really?
Yeah, to act like workers. And
I remember this on like Twitter and stuff.
And they act like the entry level worker and say, oh, the conditions are actually great, these people are lying. Basically paying people to do that. And if Amazon would do it, who's to say a company like GameStop wouldn't just have like a group of 4 people, not a lot of people, create a dozen accounts a day, go and be like, oh, this guy's lying. You know what I'm saying? And it's a conspiracy. Yeah. Amazon has done it though, but I don't. I'm sure other companies do that crap.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, that's a pretty plausible conspiracy.
Yeah.
And I've even thought about making a series about conspiracies that are like, not super political or serious. Like the whole LaCroix thing. I don't know if you heard about that. About how they were saying there was like rat poison or something in it, or insecticide. They're saying like there was some ingredient from insecticide in LaCroix, and it just turned out to be basically something that is in a lemon's peel.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just like a part of the fruit.
Yeah, that'd work. It'd work.
It worked. I mean, it worked for a while. It was in the news saying that there was like insecticide, and like how there was the whole conspiracy about how Fireball has antifreeze in it when it's really just, I believe, is propylene glycol, which is the same thing that is in e-cigarettes.
Yeah.
And it's just a sweetening agent.
Yeah, and I love Fireball. So it's fine.
It's like, there you go. Yeah, you're not dead yet.
I will gladly drink the antifreeze. I don't care. So it's fine.
So yeah, that was nothing else.
Yep. I can't think of anything else. I don't usually think of stuff. I just say whatever happens. My mouth just opens and things come out. So
you just kind of go, okay, this is my topic for the week.
Exactly.
Go.
That's what I do.
Yeah, that's kind of what I do too.
That's why my videos are like 48 minutes long, and I have to edit them down to like 9 minutes.
So that's what you do.
So it's like, why am I talking about like my feet for like 27 minutes? I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Really? So your videos are that long and you cut them down that much?
Yeah, it's not that extreme, but I usually cut down like 30 to 10 minutes.
That's a huge chunk. Have you ever thought about putting up just an uncut video to see how it did?
Maybe, but dude, there's so many. There's times where I'm just silent. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
So,
you're just thinking.
Yeah, I don't want to skip. Maybe for Patreons, like for Patreon people. Yeah, maybe that. Only ever.
Okay. Uncut, raw.
Yeah, raw.
Camelot.
Silence for 3 minutes straight. Exhilarating.
It's the new Patreon bonus video. Silence for 3 minutes.
That's just what that's like. So that I have to cut that stuff out. But yeah.
Yeah, my videos are long, but I usually just cut out the little tiny silences in between.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of keep everything. I've tried to cut it a little bit more recently, and I don't know. Well, we'll see what the future holds for our channels. If you guys haven't already, check out Camelot331's channel. Thank you for joining me on the podcast. I hope you enjoyed your experience here.
It's fun. I enjoy talking. I don't have any friends. This is great. My only friends,
the
only friends are the people in Discord, on my Discord, and the people that come into my streams. So,
well, if you
I like
if you want to do another podcast in the future, you're more than welcome to. I mean, I had a lot of fun. It'll be especially interesting once you watch El Camino and some other interesting things roll out, because we do have a lot of the similar opinions, but it is interesting to hear your viewpoint on things.
So yeah, all you gotta do is ask, and I'll come back.
All right, sounds good. Sweet. So hope everybody enjoyed this week's episode of the Back to the Futon podcast. I don't remember what number it is. I think it's like 33, 32. I think it's 32. I don't know.
32.
Something around there. I hope you guys enjoyed the new format. It's a little bit different than usual. What I'm going to do, if you don't know, I'm just going to explain it real quick before I end this. I'm going to have my video feed on one side of the futon and your video feed on the other side of the futon.
Sounds
so
beautiful.
you'll see what that looks like when that comes out. It'll be really interesting, and hopefully everybody out there enjoyed this new type of format so we can get even more people on the podcast, and I think it'll be really fun. So thanks everybody for watching / listening, and as always, have a fantastic day. See you guys.